The urge to cry is really strong. Okay, we gotta give me a minute. Hello, my name is Jayla, and today I'm going to be sharing with you all the books I plan to read in May. I have some news to share with you all. Not the best news, I'm kind of bummed out about it, but that's okay. And I just wanted to tell you guys that I am leaving New York. I will not be here for the next 3 weeks. I am going off into the world, and mostly home, but then off into the world for a very exciting trip that I can't wait to tell you guys about, but I'll talk about it later in the video. But I will be leaving the city for 3 weeks, and I just wanted to let you guys know what I'm bringing with me, because 3 weeks is a long time, so naturally I'll need like 10 books, right? That probably makes sense. Will I read those 10 books? We'll just start with the buddy reads that I'm a part of. Obviously, I can't not mention the Classic Literature Book Club, which will be having our first reading sprints where we'll start the book together, and that's going to be on the 11th. I think that's a Wednesday. Is that a Wednesday? Yeah, that's a Wednesday. Wednesday, May 11th, we are going to be doing our first reading sprints for Deceived by the Gargoyle. It sounds like it's going to be an interesting time. I don't really know too much about it because everyone in the club just gets to choose a book, and I didn't really do any research into it. I was just like, it's okay, whatever, like, she wants to read it. Catherine, this was Catherine's pick, by the way. Catherine wants to read it, we'll read it. So, except for After. I did put up a fight with that one, but nobody listens to me, so whatever. But anyways, I've never heard the synopsis for this book, except for, like, that it's about reverse harem gargoyle sex. But I did hear someone give the synopsis of the book once, and what I'm thinking it was is that I heard was that this girl matches up with a guy on a dating app, and then they go out, and then he kidnaps her, and then after he kidnaps her, it turns out that she's now his like sex toy, and he shares her with his gargoyle gang clan. I think that's what they're called. Am I wrong? Is that not what the book is about? Either way, it sounds like it's going to be a wacky time, and honestly, can't be any worse than anything else we've read. So if that entices you at all, you should definitely join us in reading Deceived by the Gargoyle. The next buddy read that I'm a part of is going to be a read-along that anyone can join in on, but it's going to be primarily hosted by me, Sarah from Sarah's Shelves, and Christine and Mo from the Roomies Digest, and this is May the Odds Be Ever in Your Favor, which is a Hunger Games themed read-along where we just read all the Hunger Games books in 48 hours. We all know that the Hunger Games is my favorite trilogy of all time. It's my identity. I love it so much. And May is May, and then May the Odds Be Ever in Your Favor. It all makes sense, you know? This is not the first time someone's done this. I'm pretty sure this has, you know, been around as long as the books has been around probably, but, you know, whatever. We wanted to do this because Mo still has not read The Hunger Games, and honestly, she just can't be my friend. She can't sit with us until she's, you know, been fully, I was gonna say indoctrinated, but that's not the word that I meant to say, but you know, until she understands what the hype is. So we're going to get Mo to read these books as a team effort, and we would love for you to also help us get Mo to read these books. I'm very excited because I bought whole new editions of the books. You know how I said I was doing a book buying ban, like a loose one where I would only get stuff that I like was really excited about and that I needed? Well, I didn't need this, but I am excited about it. But I'm going to annotate those and highlight everything, all my favorite parts and the parts that are crazy, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great time. I'm gonna be an annotating girly for once in my life because I'm never that. We're gonna be doing reading sprints for the May the Odds Be Ever in Your Favor read along as well, and that's going to be starting on May 13th at like 7:30 Pacific time. So that'll be like later in the day for us Easterner folks, but you know, it's the Hunger Games. I'll do whatever I gotta do. The next book that I'm going to be reading with friends is Bunny by Mona Awad. This is a bunny read, as we're calling it. Me and Sarah just doing all the buddy reads together this month apparently, and Mo and Nicole are all going to be reading Bunny together. Sarah has read it multiple times. Me, Mo, and Nicole's read it. Wait, now I can't remember. I don't think any of them have read it, but except Sarah. But we're all going to be experiencing it for the first time, and I've just heard that it's very weird, and it's sorority, and it's dark academia allegedly, so I'm all in. I love weird books, and this has gotten a lot of hype for that, so I'm just excited to finally dig into this one. I don't think this one is one that we're going to be doing like as a thing, it's just us reading it, but I'm super excited to experience it with other people, and maybe we'll be calling each other Bunny by the end. Wouldn't that be adorable? Moving out of the buddy reads and into the stuff that I'm doing for myself, but that is a part of a larger thing, I'm going to be participating in Asian Readathon this month, which I almost debated doing, not because I don't love Asian Readathon and think it's a great thing, but just because I was like, I read books like this all the time. Do I have to like do it? Do I have to be a part of the thing? But I want to be a part of the thing. I'm going to just talk about some of the books that I'm reading for Asian Readathon, and one of them is The Bride Test by Helen Huang. I have read The Kiss Quotient. I read it in whatever the month before this was, April, and I loved it. It was so good, and I just can't wait to get my hands on the next one, which I don't currently own, but I have shipped it to my house in North Carolina, so I'm gonna have that very soon in my hands. I'll probably be taking it on vacation with me because your girl is going to Greece in the middle of May, and she's going with her friends Yasmin be reading and Dana from Dana Days, so it's gonna be a little cute booktube meetup, and we're gonna read romance books together, and it's just gonna be a vibe. It's just gonna be a vibe, okay? So I'm very excited, and I guess I'll divert from my readathon stuff to talk about stuff I'm taking to Greece for a second. So the thing about me packing right now is that I'm packing for a trip within a trip, and I already packed too much for one trip home or wherever I'm going. So the fact that I'm packing for 2 trips now makes me feel like I have to pack even more books, but that's just not the case. Like, I'm not gonna have time to read. So anyway, it's probably not a good idea, but I might bring the box set of the Summer I Turned Pretty series, or the Summer series, whatever it's called, because I want to, and it's gonna be cute and light and fluffy, and it's, you know, it's almost summer, and it's gonna put me in the right mood, and I love Jenny Han. I love To All the Boys I Loved Before. I said that weird. To All the Boys I've Loved Before. So I'm tempted to bring this. They're very small, as you can see, so I feel like they'll be quick, easy reads. And yeah. But I know that I'm not going to read 3 books in 1 week in Greece. Then I also wanted to bring some other romances that I'm interested in reading, which are Make a Scene by Mimi Grace and Sweet Hand by Ingy Peltier. Let's be honest, I'm not reading all of these books. I do have a very long plane ride in which I could finish these probably because they're super short. I think these are going to be both super cute and easy to digest, but you just have to get into the groove of picking up books when you're on the go, and that's really hard for me, so can I get to all these romances? Probably not, but that's what I'm taking to Greece. Maybe not these though. That feels like a little too much. Like, I don't need an entire box set. I can save these for when I come back, maybe. Okay, maybe. We'll see. Okay, so back to Asian Readathon. Sorry for that little detour. I am determined to finally finish the Poppy War trilogy. I have Burning God left. Technically, I still have the Dragon Republic left, so that's going to also be a May TBR thing, but I'm trying to finish that tonight, and my plane is tomorrow. I just don't want to take both of these books in my luggage. Like, that's just so much. That's so much book. These are 2 giant books, and I really don't want to pack both of them. So I'm hopefully going to finish the Dragon Republic tonight. I'll have the Burning God with me on my trip home and finish that. And, you know, it's going to be the end of an era. I can't tell you much about this if you haven't read The Poppy War yet, but it's definitely a fantastic military fantasy. I would highly recommend it. It's just such good writing, such good plot structure. The characters really come off the page. I just love these books so much. I'm eager to finish the trilogy, not only because this was supposed to be my March fantasy series, and I'm getting very behind in my fantasy series finishing goal, but because, you know, I gotta know what happens to my characters. Like, there's a lot going on in here, and I need to know that everybody's gonna be okay. This year, the readathon theme is based off of my favorite movie of all time now. It's official, like, it's my identity. I cannot wait. I'm trying to get the posters, the books, the art, everything. I'm so ready. But it's based off of Everything Everywhere All at Once, which was a fantastic movie that if you haven't seen it, you clearly hate me, but you should go see it because it was so good. I have kind of forgotten all of the prompts for Asian Readathon at this moment. I did not come prepared for this video at all. Number 1 is always read a book by an Asian author, so we're gonna count The Bride Test as that one. And then number 2 was read any book featuring an Asian character who's a woman or who is an older protagonist. This one does not feature an older protagonist. Ren is about 19 or something like that, I think. But she's a woman. So we're gonna count that. And then I have to go figure out what the other prompts are before I can keep talking about Asian Readathon, because I truly Don't remember. Challenge number 3 is to read a book by an Asian author that has a universe that you would want to experience or that is just very different from your own. And I'm looking at the books I have over here and I'm trying to figure out if one of them applies. I didn't pick the books based off of the prompts. I picked the books I wanted to read and now I'm trying to make the prompts apply to them. So give me a second. This one's dystopian. I think this one's the real world and this one's got vampires. So should I go with the dystopian one? Would that be crazy? I chose The School for Good Mothers, not because of the world. It is a world very different from my own, yes. Would I want to live in it? Maybe not, but also the rules don't apply to me because I'm not a mother. So this is basically about a mom who has a bad day, something happens that tests her qualifications to be a mom, and she has to go to the School for Good Mothers to prove that she can keep her child. It kind of reminds me of, you know, Everything Everywhere All at Once, because it's a really good mother story and the mom is not the best in it and you're just like, oh girl, you are messing up with your kid. Like, you are trying to push her away from you. Can't you see that she's trying to reach out and talk to you? Anyways, this is definitely not that. Like, Frida doesn't seem like the kind of mom who doesn't understand her child, or I don't know what happens. I don't know what the inciting incident is, but I don't think they're going to be similar in that vein, but it's a mother story, so it's definitely fitting the profile of the vibe I'm trying to go for now that I'm obsessed with Everything Everywhere All at Once. Next is a book that gives you googly eyes. I think that's how it's phrased, which is, again, a reference to Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm gonna stop saying it. I think you get it. You all probably watched the announcement video. I don't need to explain it. But anyway, that just means a book with a gorgeous cover. And for this one, I chose Rin Chupeco's Silver Under Nightfall. This is Rin's adult fiction debut. And this book comes out in September and I want to get a jump on, you know, getting the goods, seeing where it goes, seeing how good it is. It's full of court intrigue, queer romance, and terrifying monsters. This gothic epic fantasy will appeal to fans of Samantha Shannon's The Priory of the Orange Tree and the adult animated series Castlevania. Frankly, I've never encountered or engaged with any of those things. The Priory of the Orange Tree terrifies me because it's massive, and Castlevania is just not an anime that I've ever watched, so will I like this? Who knows? But it's got, I believe when the person I work with told me about it, she pitched it to me as sexy vampire thruples, and that's kind of all I needed to know. Honestly, the next book could also apply to the googly eyes because this cover is fantastic, but prompt number 5 is to read a book by an Asian author that has a really good rating or was recommended to you. I chose The Magic Fish, which is a graphic novel, a stunning graphic novel. Look how pretty. Look how pretty. I don't know if this has ever been specifically recommended to me, but I do know I have friends who really love this book, and this also reminds me of Kin Liu's The Paper Menagerie, so I know that I'm going to love this book. I'm just sure of it. It's also based in a mother-son relationship, so I know that I'm going to feel things and have a great time reading this. And it also reminds me of, you know what I'm thinking, the thing that we were talking about. Also, it's like, I mean, it kind of, wait, you know what? I see what I'm doing here. That's for another video. Oh my god! Wow, the urge to cry is really strong. Okay, we gotta give me a minute. So this is about a kid who has a language barrier with his parents who are Vietnamese immigrants. He is struggling to come out to them, and with the language barrier it makes it even harder because he just doesn't know how to tell them or how they'll react. And anyway, they basically use fairy tales to learn how to speak to each other, like strengthen their communication. And y'all, when if this isn't, it's Everything Everywhere All at Once. I mean, it's not, but it is. We gotta move on. We gotta move on or I'll dwell. I will simply dwell. So anyway, another part of the challenge of Asian Readathon is to try and read an author from different ethnicities. You can't just read all Chinese authors or all Japanese authors. I mean, you could, but it's cool if you don't, you know what I mean? So I have 2 Vietnamese authors on here, unfortunately. Like, not unfortunately, but I'm trying to do the extra bonus challenge. So I'm going to just throw in Way of the House Husband because this is a Japanese author and this is a manga, which I don't really read a lot of, so good for me for jumping out of the comfort zone. But I've been wanting to read this forever. I'm supposed to read it with Mo, but she kind of abandoned ship and just read it without me, which was very rude since I got her a copy of the book. But you know, it's fine. If you live under a rock, which honestly sounds pretty nice with the way the world is going right now, This is about a man who was in the Yakuza, but has, I guess, retired from the Yakuza and is now a house husband. Okay, moving out of Asian readathon stuff, but sticking with the theme of Everything Everywhere All at Once, I'm going to be reading Una Out of Order. This came out in 2020, so I heard a lot about it then, but I didn't really know what it was about and had no specific interest in reading it. But after I saw the movie that shall be always named Everything Everywhere All at Once, I was looking for like good sci-fi that reminded me of that, and no one was able to give me recommendations, and I don't really know what this is rated on Goodreads or if people really enjoyed this book, but I did know that the synopsis, it works for me. So it's about this young woman named Una who is about to turn 19, but then on her birthday, like at the strike of midnight, she wakes up in her 51-year-old body, and she's like, yo, what the heck? Like, we're skipping years. What's going on? And so every year, every birthday that she has, she ends up jumping to a different time in her life. And she's 19, she's 51, she's 32 one year, and it's kind of her coming of age, but out of order. I think that's really fun. It sounds like a really wacky premise. And while it's not quite like the multiverse, which is what Everything Everywhere All at Once is about, it is about a woman finding herself in a bunch of different stages of her life, or versions of herself, I guess is a better way of putting it to make it tie more tightly. It's like the mood I'm in. I just want time loops, I want time travel, and I want multiverse. So if you have any recommendations for that, please send them my way because I am interested. More fun sci-fi stuff. We have This Thing Between Us by Gus Moreno. This is supposed to be like a technological horror novel about this couple that brings in this device into their home that kind of just shakes things up. It's kind of like Alexa, but, you know, scarier, I guess. I don't really know anything else about it. I just know that the wife ends up dying. That's not a spoiler. It's in the synopsis. And stuff gets crazy, stuff gets weird. And this has been really receiving a lot of praise. So I'm very excited to read it. Okay, I promise we're almost done. This has been a forever long video. Second to last book that I want to get to in May, but probably won't, is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. Emily's last book just came out, Sea of Tranquility, and it's just been getting a lot of buzz, and I've been meaning to read this for years. It's been out for so long, and it's post-apocalyptic, sci-fi, virus kills everybody like a pandemic or something, and it's just the aftermath of this traveling theater troupe, I think. That's all I know about it, even though I should know way more at this point because it's been out for so long. But the show also just came out, and I really do want to watch that as well. So it's time to put my foot to the gas pedal and get into this. And then I have this adorable little cutie right here. This is Tread of Angels by Rebecca Roanhorse, and this is a novella set in the Western times. Imagine gold mines, cowboy-like characters. It's gonna be great. I love it. But basically it's a fantasy book, and the main character's sister pisses off some people, and now they're trying her and accusing her of something that she didn't do, allegedly. And so the main character is trying to prove her sister's innocence, and there are demons and angels, and it's a whole thing. And, you know, it's Rebecca Roanhorse. And I lied. I have one more thing that I want to talk about, which I only just discovered was a thing, and that is Trespassing, which is a anthology of Amazon original short stories from authors like Sylvia Morena Garcia, Stephen Graham Jones, Carmen Maria Machado. Okay, the other two I was forgetting were Tochi Onyebuchi and Jeff Vandermeer, which I love the movie Annihilation, hated the book, but I do want to read more Jeff Vandermeer, so I'm excited about that. In unsettling stories that range from horror to magical realism, award-winning authors lay bare the secrets hidden in the land. So it's just a bunch of stories about nature and animals and something about how that interacts with the characters in the story. That's all I know, but I saw those names and I was like, I have to read this. I just realized how ridiculously unrealistic it is to bring all of these on a plane. Ow! Ow! If you liked this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more content from me. But until next time, I'm done talking, so I'll see you in another video soon. Bye!